1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, guys, so now we're gonna practice tricks. When I mean tricks, I'm talking about pretty much a shove-it. So you could start with a 180 shove-it if you've never done shove-its before, and then you can move on to your 360 shove, and then once you get comfortable with that, bring it to the water. So one of the tips I try to tell people when trying shove-its for the first time, just to get the motion down, is build a mound. I do this for a full circle. By the time you get all the way around, you got a nice solid mound. I take the board, make it nice and flat. Now your board's hovering above the mound. And what you're gonna do for a shove-it, and since we're on the sand, you get more pop out of your shove-its if your back foot's further back. You're gonna get more of a fast spin if your back foot's moved towards the front of the back pad. If your foot's in the front of the back pad, it's gonna be a lower, faster spin. If your foot's in the back of the pad, it's gonna be a slower, but higher and poppier spin. So if you wanna do a high pop shove-it, where does the foot go? In the back. If you want to do a quick shove-it, maybe while you're sliding out to a wave, foot wants to go a little bit higher on the pad. That right there makes a big difference. So with your shove-it, you're going to be getting into a stance, and you're going to get low, not too low, just enough like you're going to take a little hop. As you hop up, you're going to make a scissor motion with your legs, and you're going to focus more on your back foot. You're going to use your toes to kick the tail behind you, almost as if you're flicking sand behind you. So you're gonna go down, and as you hop up, you're gonna flick the back foot backwards. The front foot doesn't do too much, but it does go forward a little bit to kind of help assist the board around. But I want you to focus mostly on your back foot and your back toes. Grip your toes down and spin as you hop up. Go down as you're engaged, grip your toes. As you come up, flick the back foot behind you. Try that, Jason. Perfect. Jason's never even done this before, and that was a perfectly executed 180 shove. One important thing to remember when you're doing your shove-its is you don't want to affect your stance. Your stance should be solid. It should come back down the way it went up. So when you're doing your shove-it, my stance is exactly how it started. Okay? And if you want to practice your 360 shove-it, it's going to be the same thing as a 180 shove-it, except this time you're going to allow yourself a little bit more hang time. You're going to allow the board to spin a little bit more rotations, and don't focus right away on trying to do a really hard flick. Focus more on trying to improve your hang time. And naturally the board will spin more times. So let's try a 360 shove-it. 360 shove-it. One more time. Coming down, engaging my toes. Staying in the air just a little bit longer. I pretty much flicked it just as hard as my 180 shove-it. 180 shove-it, 360 shove-it. I gave it a little bit more, but I focused more on the hang time. 180 shove-it, 360 shove-it. And as you practice more, you might have to build your mound up, give it some shots. Once you feel like you just got that rhythm down, take it to the wet sand or take it to the water and start practicing your shove-its. Remember, when you're starting your shove-its on the water, maybe start with your back foot up a little bit higher, and don't try to pop your shove-its too high right off the bat. So for a 180 shove-it, that was a little bit high of a jump.
Try 180.
Do a 180 shove it. Perfect. Put a little bit more into your toes so you get a little quicker spin too.
One more like gripping the toe.
Yeah, I'm trying to grip that toe a little bit more. Grip that toe down. Boom. See how it kind of, everything was just more still. Also, when you're coming back down from your shove it, make sure that that your stance isn't landing like this differently. Try to keep your stance back to normal. So you're like that, your stance stays the same. So that when you land it, you're still carrying a lot of momentum. You're not creating any drag on your board. Perfect. That is a perfectly executed 180 shove it. And then as you get that down, basically give it about the same amount of flick, maybe a little bit more, but focus more on doing a higher jump. So 180 shove it. 360 shove it. I gave it a little bit more flick, but just stayed in the air a little bit longer. Boom! 360 shove it right there. Is that your first 360 shove it? Dang! Nice, dude.